Life with baby Teni quickly found its rhythm, but the mansion kept getting stranger. The soft whispers Kemi used to ignore now seemed to get clearer, like mumbled words she couldn't quite understand. Sometimes, when she was feeding Teni in the baby's room, a sad, quiet humming sound seemed to come from an old cupboard. But they also started noticing things. He would often stop in the hallway, sure he heard someone call his name, only to find no one there. The shadows that used to just dance now seemed to twist and stretch in the corners of their eyes, disappearing as soon as they tried to look directly at them. Teni, though, was doing great. She was a very quiet baby, hardly ever crying. She often stared at empty parts of the room, as if she was watching something no one else could see. Her eyes, those dark, deep ones, now had a surprisingly strong look, following things that weren't there. Kemi tried to tell herself it was just how babies are, but she always felt a little worried afterwards. One afternoon, Kemi was tidying up the big living room. She accidentally found a secret space under a loose floorboard near the fancy fireplace. Inside, hidden among cobwebs and dust, was a doll. It was an old doll made of porcelain, very well made, and dressed in bright traditional Nigerian clothes. Its face was pretty, but it had a calm, almost creepy smile. Its dark brown eyes seemed to watch Kemi as she moved. It didn't feel like a toy. It felt more like an important statue. Even though it made her shiver, Kemi felt drawn to it. It felt special. She carefully cleaned it, feeling how surprisingly heavy it was, and put it on a shelf in Teni's room. She thought it was a historical treasure that belonged in their home. That night, something new and much stranger happened. Teni, who usually slept soundly, started crying very loudly and wouldn't stop. Kemi rushed to her, but nothing helped. As she tried to comfort her, Kemi saw the doll. It had moved. It wasn't on the shelf anymore. It was sitting straight up in the rocking chair, facing Teni's crib. Kemi's heart pounded. She knew she hadn't put it there. A cold fear crept over her. She picked up the doll, its porcelain face still holding that calm, creepy smile, and put it back on the shelf. She told herself she was just tired and imagining things. But the next morning, the doll was back in the rocking chair. And the morning after that too. Each time, Teni would cry loudly during the night. But they wouldn't believe it at first, became more and more worried. They tried moving the doll to other rooms, even locking it in a cupboard. But it always showed up again in the nursery, in the rocking chair, looking at Teni. The whispers in the house got louder. Sometimes they sounded like a sad lullaby, sometimes like angry mutterings in a language they didn't know. Meanwhile, Teni kept staring at the doll with a strange, quiet interest whenever it was there. She only cried when the doll was moved away. The mansion, which used to be a symbol of their happy future, was now slowly showing itself as a place tied to the past. A silent, unsettling connection seemed to be growing between their innocent daughter and the old, smiling doll.